But look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long?
50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars. So he does not understand where the money went, how Lil Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail.
I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Because obviously that's what Ross did or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind.
Lil Meech didn't just disappoint 50 Cent. He reportedly took off with $10 and aligned himself with 50's biggest rival. After years of mentorship, financial backing, and even assisting with his rehabilitation, 50 was blindsided by what he saw as an act of ultimate betrayal. With Rick Ross now involved and private messages surfacing, 50 Cent faces new challenges ahead. Before this fallout, there was real potential. 50 believed in it when he cast Demetrius Lil Meech Flannery JRB to portray his father, the infamous Big Meech, in the series BM. This wasn't just another casting choice, it was a life-changing opportunity. Lil Meech wasn't an actor but an aspiring rapper struggling to break into Hollywood. Seeing his potential, 50 enrolled him in acting classes for 2 years, personally covering the expenses. Under 50's guidance, Lil Meech transformed into a television star, but 50's support didn't stop there. Behind the scenes, he was sending financial assistance to the family. According to him, he helped secure over $5 million in clean, legal funds money meant to ensure their future. This wasn't just about a role, it was about building a legacy. 50 had a vision of expanding the BMF brand into spin-offs, films, and multi-season story arcs. If everything went according to plan, BMF could generate between $30 million and $50 million. For a family that once thrived on street power, this was a legitimate pathway to success. Meanwhile, from behind bars, Big Meech watched his son rise to fame. The family name was in the spotlight once again, but this time on a mainstream stage. And who was responsible for making this happen? Not a lawyer, not a close friend, not even another rapper, but a businessman, 50 Cent. He revived the BMF brand, made it widely recognized, and set up the next generation for success. Yet, despite all this, 50 remained modest about his involvement. For years, he never sought recognition or publicly flaunted the financial support he provided. But now, the situation has changed, and people are wondering why 50 is so upset over the money he lost. Some speculate that he was counting on these funds. Even Rick Ross acknowledges that 50 Cent is feeling the pressure.
50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up. I will buy your masters. But look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long? I know you want to make your mama one of them walking stars thing. Put down there. Your mama live her own walking star.
A painful blow was struck.
We call it renderings. You had the renderings, then you try to go get them loans, and ain't nobody loan you that money. You ain't even built the G-Unit studio yet. That might be why when I stood next to Meech, your knees buckled. Your knees buckled. Put your back against the wall. You're hustler.
Everything changed when Big Meech was released from prison in October. The man who once ran one of the largest drug empires in U.S. history was finally free. Many expected a reunion between Meech and 50, complete with media appearances, a press tour, and perhaps even a co-produced BM documentary featuring the real Big Meech. But what happened next took everyone by surprise, including 50. Instead of standing beside 50, Meech was seen with Rick Ross, the very rapper who had been 50's adversary for over a decade. And this wasn't just a random meeting or a handshake at an industry event. The two engaged in major promotions, attended car shows, and even celebrated a homecoming concert together. Meech shared multiple photos on Instagram, posing with Ross like they were lifelong friends. There was no mention of 50, no gratitude, no acknowledgement, nothing. For 50, This wasn't just disloyalty, it felt like a deliberate act of disrespect. At first, he remained quiet, but those familiar with 50 Cent know that his silence often signals something bigger brewing. But where did the money go? If 50 truly helped secure over $5 million in legitimate earnings for the family, why isn't it in their accounts? He himself questioned it, saying, "Why didn't your boy look out for Mimi and send him to acting school?" Big Meech, all your people who were out, none of them did anything for him. You come home thinking you're the Black Pablo Escobar and you messed it all up. I helped your family make over $5 million in legal money. It's not my fault it's gone. Do you think people don't notice? You want to shine so badly that you're wearing the baby's jewelry, man. Give the baby back his jewelry. Despite everything, Big Meech found himself in financial trouble. And now, Lil Meech is in the same situation, so desperate for cash that he's selling promotional videos for just $500 each.
What up, though? Boss of Lil Boss. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, you're a business owner, entrepreneur, wherever you got, I'm trying to make it go up. Hit me right
50
now.
Cent wasted no time taking a jab. He hopped on Instagram posting, "Big Meech got Meech doing promos for $500 each. Get yours while they last." But he wasn't done yet, far from it. Just when you think he's run out of ways to throw shade, he surprises everyone by launching a GoFundMe campaign. That's right, a fundraiser. And who was it for? Big Meech. Given 50's track record, there's a strong chance he orchestrated this stunt himself just to stir the pot. Regardless of the creator, once he shared it, the internet erupted. The GoFundMe claimed Meech needed help with his bills, reportedly spending $30,000 a month on an Airbnb. And of course, 50 couldn't resist adding his own sarcastic comment, "Help Big Meech pay his $30 a month Airbnb." That's one of P's spots. Shout out to quality control. But he wasn't done. 50 continued pressing the issue, this time pulling 40 to Doug into the mix. He claimed Doug had allegedly handed Big Meech $100,000, writing, "Your daddy, my ninja. You made a mistake giving Screech $100,000. You could have helped your ninjas instead. You've always been hard-headed." Naturally, Doug fired back on Instagram, standing firm in his support for Meech and Detroit. "Ain't no ninja convincing me to go against my city. Either show me Big Bro's a rat or shut up talking to me." But that raises a bigger question. How does a former kingpin with a hit TV series end up struggling to pay rent? Tony Yeo offered some insight.
Me and Murder sitting in the backyard and you like, "Yo, little baby ain't give me no money. He came in the Ferrari truck. He had the Ferrari truck. He had 4 pockets full." I'm looking at this like, yo, this tripping. Like, little baby he's not obligated to give you nothing.
According to Yale, after Meech was released, he was looking for financial help from Lil Baby. He also expressed frustration that his son wasn't stepping up to assist him financially. Now, let's talk about Lil Meech, because he certainly isn't making the situation any better.
He was with 50, he's talking about stuff in the future. He made your family money. You know, you would think you would be a little bit appreciative, but motherfuckers don't have to be loyal to 50 in business. That's how I guess that's how Meech felt, because he's his own boss. You know, but when you take Lil Meech and you put him in acting school, you know, you take him from Detroit. I remember him rapping when he was rapping and nobody was helping him from what I seen, because I remember when Lil Meech was rapping. Nobody helped him, and then 50 put him in acting school, kept it on the low, and he made all this money. You understand what I'm saying? But to be young and have money.
Tony Yale pointed out that Lil Meech seems to be burning through cash with no concern for the future. He reportedly spent $100,000 on Chrome Hearts jeans and $500,000 on a custom BM chain. It's baffling his father is struggling to cover rent, yet he's out here flaunting luxury denim and high-end watches. And when 50 unfollowed him, Meech was visibly upset, as if the issue wasn't his reckless spending. Yale didn't hold back in calling out the contradiction.
That's why I say that was like a bad management move, but from the streets, they're gonna do what they wanna do. And 50's crazy. Know that, y'all 50's crazy. So, and then on Meech, and I look at that was bad management too, because we just was over there. We just took a picture with you at your house, but I felt like when we left there, it was a money thing, because what Lil Meech said about the Ferrari.
There were whispers that 50 wasn't just annoyed about the spending, he was frustrated by how carelessly it was done. There was no financial strategy, no investments, and no thought towards securing a stable future.
But if 50 Cent gives your family, you know, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And you know, before more details unfolded, like 5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people, he's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Lil Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick Ross thing.
And just when it seemed like the feud between 50 and Lil Meech had hit its peak, 50 took things to a whole new level. The rumor? He bought the halfway house where Big Meech is required to live. That means the man who once controlled $1 billion empire, feared by law enforcement and respected by the streets, is now allegedly paying rent to 50 Cent. True to form, 50 didn't let the moment pass without a jab. In an interview, he simply smirked and said, "Business is business. I'm putting that ninja on toilet duty cleaning up felons all day. So while Meech may be out of prison, he isn't exactly free." And fans are eating up the drama. One commented, 50 is a savage. He always stands on business. Nothing but respect. Another said, "This is the coldest move ever. 50 just made my whole month." Of course, not everyone is convinced this is the full story. Some believe it's all just internet hype and trolling.
This story right here is complete and utter bullshit.
One skeptic even suggested that Meech may not actually be living in a halfway house at all.
As we know, Meech didn't actually leave for the halfway house. He's on home confinement because of the First Step Act and winning his 821 motion in federal court. After spending nearly 20 years in federal prison, Demetrius Big Meech Flannery left the federal prison in Coleman, Florida, Coleman Low, on October 15th for home confinement. Now, before you say I don't know what I'm talking about, it says right here that he's in the RRM in Miami. He's actually on home confinement. It says RRM because the RRM, or the halfway house, or really the re-entry manager, is administering his home confinement in Miami through the halfway house that's owned by Dismiss Charities.
But let's not forget we're talking about 50 Cent. This man thrives on controversy and has both the money and the boldness to pull off even the most outrageous stunts. Meanwhile, Lil Meech has made his stance clear. He took to Instagram, writing, "Before I ask God for anything, I thank him for bringing my father home to my family. My prayers were answered. I love you, Dad. Death before dishonor." That last line wasn't just a message, it was a declaration. He was done playing mediator. His loyalty was to Big Meech. No questions asked. But the real issue? It seems like they're trying to capitalize on the BM brand with Rick Ross leading the charge. And that's the one person who never contributed a dime to his success. When your rival suddenly becomes your closest ally, things get complicated. Ross didn't waste time. He saw an opportunity the moment Big Meech was released. He swooped in, organized a welcome home concert, got Meech's approval, and launched promotions like it was the comeback of the decade. But let's be real, this wasn't about a concert. Ross saw a chance to use Meech as a pawn. He threw him a little payday, but his real goal was to take a shot at 50. And 50, he saw right through it. And speaking of people, 50 has no love for There's Always Floyd Mayweather. And you all remember that situation.
I look at the computer say, Floyd said, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance, said that.
When Lil Meech showed up at Lucky Strike Miami with Floyd Mayweather and Rick Ross, it was clear he was making a statement. But his presence wasn't just about enjoying the nightlife. He was there to promote an exclusive merchandise collaboration with red letters, X, and even gifted Mayweather a few pieces. To add to the spectacle, Big Meech unexpectedly joined the conversation over the phone, chatting with Ross and Mayweather as if they were longtime associates. Later, Floyd took Lil Meech on a car shopping spree. They also took some time to check out jewelry.
That's the thing. Dad, one life. Dad, happy birthday. That's one piece. Money team.
And of course, they had some fun at the arcade. Eventually, they found themselves at lock. Now, if there's one thing 50 Cent values, it's loyalty. Seeing Lil Meech with two of his biggest rivals didn't sit well with him. He wasted no time jumping on social media, posting a video of Meech with Ross and cracking jokes about the situation. His caption, "Tell your pops I'll look out. What's the address? I'll send some wings over there." As usual, 50 deleted the post shortly after, but the message was clear this got under his skin. It wasn't just about money. 50 had genuinely invested in Lil Meech's career. He even hinted that he might have played a role in keeping him afloat. In his own words, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Mimi's relationship. I'm telling Mimi I don't want him doing D, and he's telling him he used to do X like it's cool. I tell Mimi, stop spending all your money, and he's telling him how much he blew. People don't know I had to send Mimi to rehab." Then 50 dropped a bombshell claiming Lil Meech showed up on set visibly under the influence. According to him, actor Russell Hornsby noticed it right away. He was high as on set. He threw up during a weapons test. Then Ian told me the Lean Ninjas had whippets in his truck. I said, "What these whippets?" To drive his point home, 50 even shared a clip of Gene Deal echoing similar concerns about Meech's behavior.
Thinking the dude was going to do right by him and give him a bag and help him out and stuff like that. And he ended up being in the same spot and probably worse right now. Because just say this, man. Just say if he would have held his head with 50 now, right? I don't know if 50 would have fucked with him, but 50 would have been like, "Yo, Tammy, leave that alone, ma. Don't put that on that dude." You know what I'm saying? And 50 wouldn't have been behind it. The only reason this shit grew the way it grew against Meech is because 50 was behind.
50 also claimed that he discreetly sent Lil Meech to rehab, covering all the costs without making it public. His goal was to protect him, but now that he felt betrayed, he was done keeping secrets. Once 50 realized he had been misled, he took things up a notch. He returned to Instagram with receipts this time, including a familiar name. He posted a picture of Tammy Cowens, a former business associate of Big Meech. Alongside it, he shared a screenshot of a conversation where he directly asked if Meech knew she had allegedly cooperated against him while he was in prison. Her response? A clear yes. His caption read, "Tammy Cowens, the truth and nothing but the truth coming soon." If anyone thought he was finished, they were mistaken. 50 even added new lyrics referencing BM, but blurred out Lil Meech's face, essentially erasing him from his own show, almost like a bitter ex scrubbing out an old partner from photos. And if that's not peak 50 Cent, what is? In now deleted Instagram posts, 50 also shared text messages from Lil Meech. In them, Meech JRB seemed to be pleading for forgiveness. "They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram. Now you're mad at me? I give you the shirt off my back. I can't believe this, man. You act like I'm your enemy. I've only shown love and loyalty." But then he shifted the blame to his father, saying, "Ross gave my dad some money so he could pay his bills until our next season starts." 50 wasn't having it. His response? What next season? Little Ninja. Fans saw this as a sign that BMF might be finished and possibly Lil Meech's career too. Because in the entertainment industry, trust equals money. And Big Meech had made it crystal clear where his loyalty stood. But what if this betrayal ran deeper? What if Big Meech was actually sabotaging his own son? It sounds far-fetched at first, but some fans are starting to believe it. What if this wasn't just an industry feud? What if it was a father-son power struggle disguised as a battle between rap camps? Some speculate that Big Meech's actions stem from jealousy and unresolved father-son conflict, where a parent feels overshadowed by their child's success. Instead of celebrating their achievements, they start resenting them, leading to actions that could ultimately hurt their child's future, and that's the real tragedy here. This could have been a redemption story, a powerful father-son duo reclaiming a legacy. Instead, it's looking more like the downfall of both, with 50 stepping back. BMF is hanging by a thread. Stars hasn't confirmed any new seasons, and 50 has hinted that it might be over. Meanwhile, Rick Ross is legally blocked from making a BM film since 50 owns the rights, but the damage may already be done. So the big question remains, did Lil Meech really betray 50 for $10 million? Or was this all an elaborate setup with Big Meech pulling the strings from behind the scenes? Was this a calculated move, a grand act of deception disguised as loyalty? Or did 50 simply misjudge his ally from the start? If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exclusive industry insights. What's your take on this situation? Drop your thoughts below. Stay tuned because this story is far from over, and we'll be here to bring you the latest updates.